Med, thank you very much for joining me on my live, and I welcome you.
Um,
And to my audience, I'm grateful to have you join my channel. Also, subscribe. I wish to express my gratitude to all of you, and we do appreciate you so much. Sometimes I read your feedback, and it gives me motivation and it helps me improve um, myself. And then, through the self reflection, I grow to become a better person. But I wanted to give you guys an update. Remember when I talked about we're going to donate the money that we earn from YouTube to somebody that really needs the income? So I did ask, you guys, and I said we because the channel, I believe, is for all of us, not just Sultan. So once we earned some money, I have to give you an update or account of what we would use the money for. As you can see, I have one of my YouTube friends here. Her name is Meds. Before I introduce her, like I said, we earned about approximately $100 from the YouTube. I couldn't have made this possible without you guys. Based on the videos that you watch, YouTube, gave us $100, and we discussed and said we are gonna donate the money. So I ask you guys for suggestions. How do we donate the money? Who to donate the money to? And when to donate the money. So people send me a lot of messages. I wish I can help all of you, but unfortunately, I can't. But I pray that God aids your condition and hardship. However, out of all the messages that I received, there was one that was really heart touching, especially the medical condition of an 18-year-old. Um, and Med reached out to me. So once she reached out to me, um, I said, okay, I would consider her story, and then we can help this person. So that's why I invited her to join my live today. She's gonna introduce herself, where she is from, and then she can tell us a little bit about her and why we need to donate this money to the child. So over to you. Introduce yourself to my audience.
okay, thank you so much, Sultan. I'm honored to be part of your life. Like I always say in life, when you're given a chance, you don't take it for granted. You give honor to whom honor is due. And this in Kenya right now, it's evening. I thank you so much for the chance. I've been an ardent follower of your channel. I watch post, and
Thank you.
from my perspective, I can tell someone who's got a very clean heart. I followed you from afar, and I'm pleased to say thank you so much for the chance. And my name, our followers, is Medrin Muturi. I come from Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi is the capital city of Kenya, Sultan. Hope one day you visit.
Yes.
And I live around and I stay in the city. So I go by Meds at It on YouTube. In YouTube, I go by Meds at It, MEDZ at IT. And all my social platform on Instagram, I go by Meds274, Facebook, Medrin Muturi, and also in which other TikTok, Medrin Muturi. Yeah, that's my platforms.
Okay. Okay, so Med, thank you for introducing yourself. So you reached out to me about the condition of an 18-year-old guy who really needs our help. So that's why I invited you to our live today, so that you can tell us a little bit about this child, his medical condition.
Okay, thank you again, Sultan. Okay, I reached out to you because for me, I found it was a very generous. Actually, I've not found it with anyone else. When you put on your YouTube channel that you wanted to donate your proceeds to any needy person out here, I thought, wow, this is a very humble heart. And this is the heart that really God looks out to. And thanks to you and God.
Thank you.
Actually, I thought, why don't I reach out to you? I know a lot of people reach out to you, but I said, I'm going to put in faith, reach out to you with this issue of this young man I'm going to be talking about, and
Yes.
God will create a miracle. And thanks to you, you give me a chance to talk about it. So there's a young man from my village, that is a province. I don't know in your country, I think you call them provinces. Where I
Yes.
come from, when in the city we call them villages. So
Okay.
there's a young man in the village called Rogers Karani. When you look at him, he looks like a young man, but basically he's 18 years old. He was born with a condition called Spina bifida, or is it spinal bifida? You're a
Mhm.
medic, you'll help me elaborate. And hydrocephalus. A little bit of what I know about that is from half his waist and the back is paralyzed. So he cannot be able to, feel from the waist downwards. That means that the young man uses under diapers to ease himself. Again, he actually doesn't know when he eases himself unless someone checks out on him after every 3 hours. And also by him touching himself, because definitely he knows at some point he has to, pee or poo. So he checks on himself
Yeah.
once and again by using his hands to check. So I was visiting the village the other day, and I decided, why don't I do this story of this young man? He has been, suffering a lot because his family is not
Yeah.
in a very good position to provide. Like I was telling you, diapers in my country for the adults, the cheapest you get is around $10. I think 1,000 bob in Kenya is, I think, yeah, it's $10. I think that is the cheapest you can get. That's 1,000 Kenya shillings for those who are listening.
Right.
And at times it's so expensive for the family because he needs a special diet, because you can't just give him the normal food that we afford in the village. In my village, or where I come from, people use corn and beans as our staple food. But for this young man, he cannot use that kind of food because it's going to mess his boils, I think. I don't know the
Yes.
best words to put. So
Mhm.
he has to have to undergo special care in terms of feeding, and also his toiletries are pretty expensive, Sultan. In my country, I can use a soap to take a bath that is like even half a dollar
Right.
or less a dollar. But for him, he has to use the high-end toiletries because of hygiene issue.
Right.
Again, we checked, he has a catheter. I forgot to tell you, he has a catheter that empties after every 3 hours. They implanted a catheter on him. So he has to keep on seeing doctors, for check to avoid infections. And when I talked to the parents, they told me, Sultan, they managed to take him to a school in Vika, from where I am seated in my house right now, to where that school is around 1.5 hours drive. But from my village to the same school is around 250 kilometers. I don't know how you convert them into miles, because I know in the US you use miles.
Right.
So it's pretty far and expensive for the parents to actually bring the kid to school. But they manage anyhow by the help of well wishers. Like I was telling you, there's a group that we coordinate monthly to try and see if we can raise money for diapers. But you
Mhm.
cannot be able to raise money for all the toiletries because they're pretty expensive.
Right.
The young man goes to school. He is in grade 8 in my country, that is class 8. And
Mhm.
I was shocked to understand that they pay fees. I thought it was, a well wishers kind of school, only to realize they pay fees to a tune of more than $500. And toiletries and diapers, you have to carry them.
Right.
That is sorry
It's
for the
okay.
noise. There are kids playing out
It's
here.
okay.
Sorry. So I thought when I saw you having posted that, I told myself, let me reach out to Sultan, because to me that was very strange. I know people donate in this platform, but I've not seen someone who want to donate their first proceeds of, first proceeds. People want to go for a GoPro camera, they want to go for. But when I saw your kind of heart, I said, I'm going to talk to Sultan, but I'll apply faith, small as a mustard seed, and I know God will communicate. And that's why today I sit here to explain to you that this child needs any help he can get. Is soon graduating and high school, and you will go to the same high school that needs such care again. And when I talked to the parents, they were like, Medrin, if there's a way you can help us more than you help us with your group, then we will appreciate. And that is why I said, let me reach out to you. And also, when he was born, he had hydrocephalus. The head was huge, so they implanted a shunt that needs to be checked after every, I think, periodically, so that there's no infection in his system. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for telling us about the medical condition of this child. For those of you who does not know this medical condition, I'm gonna try and elaborate as much as I can. So this 18-year-old, um, let's say adolescent or child, because of sickness, I would use that word. Um, the boy has a medical condition called hydrocephalus, which is the first one, and also has spina bifida. So hydrocephalus is a buildup of spinal fluid, cerebrospinal fluid in your brain. So it builds up fluid in your brain, and your brain swells, right? So your head becomes big. And remember, our brain is housed by our skull. So if your brain is swelling because of fluid, the skull is going to put pressure on that brain that is already swelling. It creates something called intracranial pressure in your brain. Once that happens, it's going to cause stroke or paralysis. So normally the doctors would open your brain, something called craniotomy. They would cut the skull and then relieve the pressure on the brain. However, the brain will keep swelling still. Sometimes they will remove half of the whole skull from one side of your brain and then remove and just cover with the skin. So we have something called craniectomy, where they remove the skull. Once they remove the skull, they cover the skin. Then they put head precautions because something punctures your brain is going to be damaged. However, so they wear helmet. Um, Also, the doctors would go in the brain once they open the skull and put a drain called shunt. That shunt would drain the fluid, so it's connected to a drain outside, and then it drains fluid from the brain that is accumulated to relieve the brain from what intracranial pressure, because intracranial pressure is not a good thing. And then they monitor it very often. So this is what is called hydrocephalus, because once the cerebrospinal fluid builds up in your brain, it could cause stroke because it's causing pressure, intracranial pressure. It could cause seizures, right, to the point of death. And then now the second condition the child has is something called spina bifida. Spina bifida is when a child is congenital. That means they're born with it. When a child is growing, the spine does not develop properly. This could be due to a numerous things. It could be due to folic acid insufficiency during when the mother was pregnant, and that could cause what spina bifida. That's why when a woman is wants to become pregnant, you're advised to what take folic acid to avoid what spina bifida and some of these neurological conditions. So this is with spina bifida. Because the spine is unable to develop properly, it causes paralysis, something called paraplegia. So you're paralyzed from your waist downwards. That means that you can't walk, right? Also, remember, your bladder is from your waist downwards. Your bladder accumulates and stores your urine. Thereby, your brain triggers your bladder that, hey, my bladder is full and I have to go pee. But this person does not have sensation from his waist low down. So that means that if his bladder is full with the urine, his brain cannot, even if his brain tells his lower extremity, hey, your bladder is full, empty it. Remember, he already has a brain condition. So he has multiple conditions. That means that he's already paralyzed. So he cannot pee on his own. So the doctors will put a catheter into his bladder to remove the urine. So this child is suffering a lot. Also, you notice that she said the child has what frequent bowels. He doesn't eat the regular diet that we eat. The child needs a special diet. Also, a special soap that has to be used to clean the child. this person is going through a lot. I already told you guys. For me, I like children. I don't want to see children hurt, because children are so innocent. However, only God knows. So the little that we can do, we have to do to help this child. And for you that is watching us, you can also support us with your prayer. It doesn't have to be money. Let's all pray. It's not just this child. Every other child that's out there that is suffering, or any other person that has a medical condition that needs help. And also imagine, like for example, in America, in the Western world, these children have access to good medical health care, right? They can go to school, they can get food. If you go to the hospital, it's free. They can get the surgery. But in developing countries like Africa, or continent like Africa, they don't really have these experienced doctors or medical services available. So that means that these children will be suffering a lot, and they need our help. I'm not asking for a donation. I'm just saying that help us and support us with your prayer. The little that we get from YouTube, we can use it to help people. So she's told us about the child, and then like I said, we earned $100 from YouTube. So we're gonna donate. So Matt, tell us, how can we donate? Do we have to do it by PayPal? Do we have to do it by MoneyGram, or do we have to do it by Western Union? And also, we decided that what we're going to do is, once we donate the money, um all the money should be given to the child's mother. You understand?
Sure.
And I said he's 18 years old, but I call him a child because of his condition, because only the mother knows what the child really needs. Even though we think that the child probably needs diapers, the mother could use them, some of the money for food, and stuff that she really needs. So that's why I suggested it. So tell us, how do we donate the money?
Yeah. Before I get to tell you that,
Okay.
Sultan, I forgot to inform you that the young man was suffering from um, sores. He's constantly in a wheelchair, so he
Oh,
developed some sores that lasted for 6 years.
wow.
He was treated last year. There were, I think, there's an hospital in my country that brings white doctors from the US and from UK.
Yeah.
He got a chance to get treated, $2,000. They grafted the skin from the back, and then they put it in the back. So they put it in the back. So the family has been through quite much, and I thank you. Honestly, I thank you so much for this gesture. I don't know how much I can thank you enough. And like we always say, there's nothing that is too little to help someone who needs help.
Yeah.
So this is far way much than I don't know what I can explain.
Right.
Joining hands with us from all the way from New York, where you are, and joining hands with us here in Nairobi, Kenya. And I hope one day you get to visit Nairobi. It's a nice
Hopefully.
place. Kenya is a
Hopefully.
nice place.
Yeah.
Um, we are really humbled. Honestly, when I deliver this news, it will be so humbling because they called me a week ago and I asked them if they had talked to our area, congressman to even help with the bursary in regards to school fees. And they told me they were told to wait. So I was wondering, why would they be told to wait in such a condition? So you see, like you're saying, in Africa, things are totally different. Yeah, we come from Africa, yes, and we call a spade and not a big
Right.
spoon.
Right.
The politicians here really fail us because such a child should be in the list of being helped
Right.
among the first people. When they called me,
Not to
I
cut
talked
you.
to
So
them.
somebody said what is going on. Let me just update, those who are just joined. So this is Meds. Remember, guys, I said the money that I would earn from YouTube, I would donate it. So she reached out to me about an 18-year-old that had a medical condition called hydrocephalus and spina bifida. That child can walk and paralyzed. So we're gonna donate that money to that child who really needs help, and give the money to the mother, so the mother can assist the child with whatever the child needs. So that's why she's telling us a little bit about the child. If you missed it, hopefully I would upload the video, and then you guys can watch. But yes, we're gonna donate the money, and I don't want the video to be too long. So guys, I do really appreciate all of you for joining and also watching my videos. Without you and your support, I'm not asking for donation. No, that's not what I'm asking for. Without you watching my videos, we wouldn't be able to earn these $100 that we're donating to help this child. So I'm so grateful. And your contributions mean feedback. I read all of them, and it helps me grow personally. So thank you so much. And then also to Meds, let me just give you the opportunity to shout out to your YouTube channel as well before we end the video. Okay.
Guys, thank you so much for following Sultan. As he grows, I also would implore you to check me on YouTube. My YouTube channel is
Thank you.
MEDZ at IT. I don't know if Sultan will write it down because it could be a little bit
Yes, I,
tricky
I
for
will
someone
put the
to,
link down.
yeah.
I
And
will.
I'm really so humbled, really. I'm so
It's okay.
humbled.
It's okay. That's what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to look out for each other and help each other. So, guys and mates, thank you so much for joining me on the live. I know, we took some of your time, and also for the viewers who are watching, thank you for your time. Okay, and hopefully I would upload the video soon, and then you guys can watch. Thank you, guys.